Jai Swaminarayan. Dear students, if you are given two choices, first choice is study in the classroom. Second choice is play your favorite sports outside on the ground. Out of this, which one will you select? I think most of you will select second option, to play your favorite sports outside. Why not the first option, study in the classroom? I can understand. You actually don't enjoy study. You don't like to study. And the reason is rote learning. But today in this video session, I would like to suggest 3 revolutionary tips that will help you to come out from the rote learning, to enjoy your study, and to build really a marvelous career in your life. So are you ready? If ready, then let's begin. Tip number 1 is understand deeply rather than mugging up. Dear students, have you ever heard the name of Google Boy? Who got this title as Google Boy? Who is he? He is Kautilya Pandit. At the age of 5 years, he learned the geography of the world and he proved his memory in front of many shows. Even Abdul Kalam also praised that boy and he got this title as Google Boy. Why? Because he is able to remember, memorize the information almost equal to Google. During interview, he was asked this question, that what is the secret of your memory? How can you remember this much information, plenty of information? The answer of Google Boy is what is this first tip. He said, I never try to remember any information. I always try to understand it deeply. When I understand deeply, I can remember easily. That is what the secret of our memory. Dear students, have you ever seriously thought that why don't you remember maths formula? Why don't you remember science concepts, English grammar rules, regulations, or history lessons, and many such things? Why don't you remember them? The simple reason is because you didn't understand them. Otherwise, why do you remember movie stories, movie songs, and such kind of things, even without teacher? Why? Because you understand it, you can connect with them, you experience it, that's why you remember it. Already you spend much of your time behind mugging up and remembering. What if you spend the same amount of time behind understanding it deeply? It would be far beneficial, not just for the exam, it will be beneficial for lifetime. So the root cause for memory is not mugging up, not rote learning, it's understanding, deep understanding. Well, now you realized that understanding concept is far important than remembering and mugging up. But the question is how to understand anything deeply. The solution is very simple. Ask practical questions. How will it be useful to my daily practical life? Ask question until you don't understand it deeply. For example, how this Pythagoras theorem applicable to my practical life? How these history lessons will help me in my practical life? How sin theta, cos theta are helpful in my practical life? Until you don't understand those concepts or those things deeply, keep asking questions to your teachers. And the reason why your teachers are habituated to teach you with the rote learning methods is nothing else than you. Because of you students, teachers teach you with the rote learning methods. Why? Because you never challenged such kind of concepts with practicality. You never asked such kind of practical questions. You never questioned, so they never answered. And this rote learning has continued since many decades. My dear students, it is only and only you who can bring the revolution in the education system by asking practical questions to the teachers. And remember, in 21st century, this rote learning, formal education won't help you to do something marvelous in your life. You need practical education. You need skill-based education to thrive in the 21st century. So don't just study for the exam. Study for the solutions. Study for the success, study for the service. If you don't do so, then after few years, you will be living such a miserable life, mediocre life, which is actually a crime against yourself. Now tip number 2 is revise and review at least for thrice. After understanding anything deeply, you need to revise it at least for 3 times, otherwise you will forget it. Research says that after learning anything, if you don't revise it within 24 hours, you will forget it 80%. So revision is most important after understanding anything deeply. Now the question is how to revise it 3 times. Let me give you 2 options. One student is revising one chapter of science 3 times in a single day. Another student is revising one chapter 3 times on a different day. Out of these 2 options, which is better for the revision? Single day 3 time revision or 3 days one time revision? Which is better one? Of course, my dear students, you must choose the second option. Anyways, within a single day, if you revise it 5 times, 10 times, it is actually a single revision. With the gap of the time, you should revise so that your brain can register deeply. Apart from this, if you read any good books, for example, let's say Rich Dad Poor Dad, if you read that book just for once, you won't get the whole essence of that book. But when you read it for 3 times, you will get the entire essence of that book. Similarly, when you watch any good video, for example, you are watching this video, if you just watch it for once, you won't get the full essence of this video. But when you watch this video for 3 times, you will not forget anything. You will understand and catch all the lessons from this video. So at least you must revise for 3 times, whatever you learn, whatever you read, whatever you watch. Now tip number 3 is teach and discuss with others. The research says that you remember 10% of what you read, 20% of what you hear, 30% of what you see, and 50% of what you see and hear, and 70% of what you discuss, and 80% of what you teach. Actually, you learn when you teach others. So start teaching with others, start sharing your knowledge, your understanding with others. It will give you more clarity, it will give you more depth. And this revolutionary tip is actually given in Sikshapatri. Bhagwan Swaminarayan has mentioned in Sikshapatri that Pathaniya Aditya Vidya. Teach whatever you have learned. By sharing your knowledge, by sharing your skills, your knowledge and skills become rich. And apart from this, sharing with others is an act of punya, act of blessings. So you must teach others whatever you know. So my dear students, follow these 3 revolutionary tips, enjoy your study and build such a legendary career in your life. Thank you. Jai Swaminarayan.